Oh, hi, didn't see you there. I was just drinking ketchup with my friend, Morgan. He's behind the camera.
Now red.
He controls lights. Welcome to Here's the Soup, a show where I tell you some gaming news, and that's it. It's a very interesting, down-to-earth show where you get to learn the facts about where you get to learn the facts about where you get to learn the facts about what's currently happening in the gaming industry. From the biggies up at Nintendo, PlayStation, Microbox, and Google Stadia. Warning, there's nothing in this episode about Google Stadia. Because that's about all that's going on with Google Stadia. So, without further ado, here's the soup. Please do not. Put that down. You're a monster.
What? I can't play with it.
No.
So first things on our agenda, the PlayStation 5 logo finally got revealed at CES 2020. As you can see, it's a PlayStation logo. Don't know why there had to be a big reveal about it. It's like the past 3 PlayStation logos, just with a 5 instead of a 4. It's really interesting. However, in better PlayStation news, they unveiled that the PlayStation 5 will be backwards compatible with everything, as long as it's PlayStation. The PlayStation 5, you can now play your PS1 games on it. It will store your save memory onto the drive of the system itself, rather than having to use a memory card. If this works out the way that I think it will, the PlayStation 5 will definitely win over the Xbox Series X this holiday season, just based on that alone. Because not only do you have the one really cool game that they showed off, the only PS5 game we know about so far, but also, on top of that, you have literally the entire library of every other PlayStation system right at launch to play. Reportedly, there's an updated version of the Nintendo Switch console coming this summer. There's speculation between what it could be, because there's one of 2 options. It could just be like a small little upgrade like the last version of the Switch was, where it just had slightly better battery life and stuff like that. Or it could be what has been speculated for a little while, where we will finally see the Nintendo Switch Pro with updated graphics, updated other things. Maybe, perhaps, a 1080p screen on the Switch in handheld would be nice to see the wild area in Pokemon at higher than 15 frames a second. So hopefully it's that one. In other slightly not gaming related news, but also gaming related news, The Witcher on Netflix has been receiving very high ratings. It hasn't gotten the best ratings from like professional reviewers, but the audience rating, I believe, is at a 93%, which, you know, that's pretty good. This also ties into something else though. The sales figures for The Witcher 3 and other games and books in the franchise have been very high recently, in line with the Netflix series. Back when the game launched in 2015, it launched with a player count of 92,000. And now, with the Netflix series launch, it now has over 94,600 concurrent players. You know, higher than when the game launched. That's nifty, I guess. But that's just on Steam. That doesn't even account for other consoles. The Switch version of the game just came out, stuff like that. So sales figures are only going higher for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Is that the name of the game? I've never played it. Though, good for them! Oh, spooky. That's orange. Yeah. Spooky!
Red.
Do you like horror games? Well, then this is one for you, because the boys are back in town. Horror game powerhouses, Frictional Games, are back with a new project. You might know them for little projects like Amnesia: The Dark Descent and Soma, which are, you know, very, very critically rated horror games. And they are back now, teasing a new project, and it's looking like it's gonna be a spooky one. Apparently, this has been in production ever since half a year after Soma came out. Their first bigger project in about 3 years now. So, I'm hoping it's good. They haven't let us down before, so well, there was a machine for pigs. We don't talk about the sequel to Amnesia. No. And with all of this news... Wait, blue. Give me blue. Give me blue!
You need to...
Blue!
That's fine, dude. No.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Now with those big name stories in mind, I'd like to bring your attention to a smaller indie project that looks to have a lot of promise. This is sort of a shout-out section to an amazing passion project that Morgan and I have played recently called Death and Taxes. And it is a very Papers, Please inspired, morality-based game where you play as a newly spawned Grim Reaper working an office job to judge the living and decide who dies, who lives, and your consequences, based on your actions, change the world around you as you play. It's a very interesting project. I'm very excited to see where it goes. If you would like to also follow this project, please check the link in the description down below. Follow them on Twitter and GameJolt to receive updates, and you can add the game to your Steam wishlist now. And a demo is also available. Should mention that. A demo is available where you get to play through 7 days of the game, which takes about like 45 minutes. If you rush through it, it probably takes 10.
Yeah.
But, you know. Attention, Pokemon fans! The Pokemon Nintendo Direct was today as of this recording, but was 2 days ago as of this video going up, because it's going up on Saturday? Yes, 2 days. Where they unveiled 3 things. One of which is not very special at all, actually. It's a cloud service. First of all, the first reveal of the Direct was... Bum-ba-da-ba! Pokemon!
No shit!
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, which is a remake of the now 15-year-old Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game for the original Game Boy Advance, and the red version, which came out on the DS.
Holy shit, 15 years?
15 fucking years!
I was 7.
I played that game when I was fucking 6! Basically, what this means is it's the original game with new content, playable on the Switch, with a fucking gorgeous art style. It looks all like hand-painted and shit. With all content from the red and blue versions of the game put into one, and in full HD, remake, remastered. It's gonna be great to see this game coming back, and I hope more Mystery Dungeon ends up coming in the future, because not a single one of those games has been bad. And of course, the big reveal from the Pokemon Direct was the fact that paid DLC is coming to Pokemon Swoosh.
Pokemon Swoosh.
That's when you abbreviate it, it's SWSH. So it's Swoosh. So Pokemon Sword and Shield are getting paid expansion passes. It's $30 for the expansion pass, which will be coming out in 2 parts. The Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. The Isle of Armor is coming out in June, And the Crown Tundra is set to release in fall. Both expansion pass parts will be releasing this year. It's available for pre-order right now, where with the pre-order you get the new Galar version of Slowpoke, and you also get a Pikachu and Eevee suit for your character. These expansion passes will be featuring giant new areas in the game. One is like this sort of like island beach shit, where there's just a bunch of... It's like the wild area, but bigger and newer, with a bunch of new Pokemon and old Pokemon coming back to the game. The Crown Tundra is more of an ice mountain area, again with its own huge wild area, with its own story and everything. New Pokemon, old Pokemon coming back, and yeah, it's just gonna be a fun time, I think. $30 isn't too much for the expansion. $30 isn't too much for an a season pass. $30 isn't too much for an expansion pass, but given the fact that an expansion pass for Sword will have slightly different content as the expansion pass for Shield, and you have to buy them separately, that's $60 to end up getting the full expansion pass, not to mention it's still an $80 game. Yeah, $80 Canadian, so it's like $60 US?
Yeah, no.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so $30 US for the expansion pass, so that's going to be like $40 here. So that's $80 to buy both expansion passes, so you can get all of the content. Plus the games are $80 each, so you're spending $240 just to get all of the content in Sword and Shield. And the base game was short. Like, pretty short. Then again, they also made it so the wild area levels up as you level up, so they did make the game a lot easier to traverse than other Pokemon games, which is part of the reason why it doesn't take as long, because you don't have to grind as much in this one. That being said, also, that's just a lot of money for an expansion pass. Though, if you do only have one version of the game, and you don't care too much about, like, exclusive Pokemon to one version, I'm pretty sure you can still get them in trades.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. And even without having the expansion pass, if you do trade Pokemon with somebody who does have the expansion pass, you can still get those exclusive Pokemon. So, even if you just have the base game, you can still complete your Pokédex. It'll just take a little bit longer. That being said, the last thing that they unveiled in the Pokemon Direct was Pokemon Home, which is a cloud service where you can upload your Pokemon from previous Pokemon games and have them be in your current games, or just in the cloud if you just want to have them on your phone to look at. Maybe the cloud service will have its own, like, Pokédex, where you could just, like, I've uploaded every Pokemon ever to my own personal cloud. That'd be kind of cool. They didn't say anything about it being that way, but that'd be cool. Basically, though, if you have Pokemon in a previous game on the 3DS or something like that, or on Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, you can transport them into this app, this cloud, and then be able to then transfer them into Sword and Shield. Or vice versa. I think you can transfer Sword and Shield Pokemon also into Pokemon Home. This also means that through some fucked up method, you can somehow transfer Pokemon all the way from the original Game Boy versions of the game all the way up to Pokemon Sword and Shield. You can jerry-rig this giant transfer cord fuckery all the way to the Switch. So, good luck with that if you're gonna give that a shot. So, out of Pokemon news, because the Direct is over. Switch me back to blue, Johnny.
Wait.
Super Mario Maker 2 has reached 10 million uploaded courses to the game. That's too many. So to celebrate this momentous occasion, Nintendo has made it possible for... Stop.
What?
Stop.
I'm not
Stop.
ruining your life.
Stop!
Am I distracting you?
Yes. Nintendo has made it possible to upload 100 courses per user to the course world on Super Mario Maker 2. This means that individually, every single person can upload more levels than are in any given Mario game to the course world, meaning people that are talented map creators could potentially create their own linear progression Super Mario games and upload world by world and just create this big massive thing. Maybe some levels will like continue after another one or something like that. It'll be very interesting to see how this all goes forward, because a lot of people like to create a lot of cool things, and Mario Maker is a very interesting game for that. Not to mention all the Zelda shit that they added recently. That'll be dope. I'm excited. Mario Kart 8 is having a online tournament. The top 8 players in this online tournament will receive $25 of eShop credit for participating and winning and doing the best that they possibly can. This is all happening from January 17th to 19th, and if you've wanted a chance to try and be one of the top 8 players in the world, I guess, and only get 25 bucks for it, go you. However, this does also mean something else interesting, because Nintendo is interacting with the Mario Kart 8 community again. Could this mean that maybe we're gonna be getting something more for Mario Kart soon? I certainly hope so. New courses or characters would be pretty cool. It's been a while. The last update added Labo support, so there wasn't much. In other tournament news, Splatoon 2 is having an online tournament right now on the 11th and 12th. Winners of this tournament have a chance to be taken on a trip to California for Genesis 7 2020, where they will be partaking in the Splatoon 2 tournament at Genesis, which is a fighting game convention slash tournament. It's a big one, and there's going to be a lot of really big players there. So having a chance to compete in that tournament just from playing Splatoon 2 online is a pretty big deal for some people, especially those who really do take the game competitively. Comment below whether you're an Inkling or an Octoling, because, you know, that's a thing. In indie-related game news, the 2011 classic indie RPG Maker game, To the Moon, is coming to the Switch. The entire game, in order to port it to the Switch, had to be completely remade and remastered in Unity, because RPG Maker obviously does not work on the Switch. But, that being said, this recreation has the ability to be entirely in HD now, and it's a new experience with all the additional content that was added to the original game, right packed in with it. This game is a classic. If you have not played it already, now is the chance. It's a must-have on PC, and now you can play it anywhere, and that's awesome, actually. This game should be played by anybody who has a heart, because it's that fucking good. The last piece of news for the day is that the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 will both be launching during the holiday season this year, which could lead to another console war, as stupid as that is. Now, in terms of gaming-related stories and news, this will always be a big thing once any of the big three release consoles around the same time. Even if it's just a new version of the same console. We saw this with the Vita and the 3DS competing with each other. It just like, though that wasn't as big of a competition because Fuckin Evita. But also, you know, it's never a good time when you see videos of sale seasons or whatever, and there's people beating each other up over consoles or stuff like that, trampling on people just so that they can get the new Xbox first or something like that. It's also not right for people on the internet to spread hate because somebody plays the PlayStation and somebody plays the Xbox, and so obviously the guy who plays the PlayStation doesn't like real man's video games. Just let people enjoy things. This also does, however, tie into a recent leak from Sony talking about the fact that Overwatch 2 will probably be coming out this year in 2020 and will be released in line with the launch of the PlayStation 5. Given that Overwatch 2 is going to be a heavily successful game because Activision Blizzard, we can also suspect that the game will be a launch title for the system because PlayStation 5 is releasing in the holiday, which is right at the end of the year, and if Overwatch is going to be a 2020 game, then it really has only that time to do so, and it'll be right in time for the holidays, and everybody will want to buy Overwatch for the holidays because it'll be an overly expensive game that's the exact same as the first one, but it'll be on the PS5. And if so, that does mean that there are 2 confirmed launch titles for the PS5 already, and 1 confirmed launch title for the Xbox Series X. Except technically it's still an Xbox One, so technically there isn't a launch title of any kind. So I don't know why I said that. Anyway, so lots of shit is coming these holidays, lots of stuff's going to happen throughout the year. What are you excited for? Are you excited to beat up some more wild animals in Pokemon Sword and Shield later this year? Are you excited to cry your eyes out because To the Moon's on the Switch? Or are you excited, like I am, to beat the Bearer of Death as Grim Reaper? That one sounds like the most fun to me, but, you know, if you have anything you would like to comment below, any stories I've missed, anything that I could recap perhaps in the next episode, or stuff like that. These episodes will be coming out every other Saturday, so every 2 weeks on Saturday there will be a Here's the Soup episode on the Cyber Soup channel. If you would like to subscribe to my personal channel, that'll be linked in the description down below, along with every other member of Cyber Soup. Thank you to Morgan behind the camera for doing nothing. Thank you to Kyla behind the camera for clicking the record button. They also changed the lights around me because that's nifty, I guess. Ooh, and wow, look at you changing candles. Want more from Cyber Soup? Subscribe. If you liked the video, like or dislike it, because likes and dislikes don't matter, it's still interaction. And that being said, that's the soup.